Welcome back, boys and girls. This is TheKillerNacho again, and we have another PGBL showdown to get to, and we are playing the New Jersey Brobats, and that is coached by Rewt, who is also the league, commissioner, we'll call him that. This is his league, and so last time I participated in the PGBL, I actually lost to him in a very, very close game, so I'd like to get one here. But this is also a really important matchup here in our conference because while he is a game behind, I think he had trouble scheduling with one of his previous opponents, so he's a game behind, just like my last opponent was a little behind. But we're both sitting at just one loss, and Espessially actually dropped one as well. So the top three teams in this conference, we're pretty much all guaranteed to make the playoffs. But obviously, if we can get the first seed, that would be good because bragging rights. I don't know actually how much that matters here, but all three of us are going to probably make the playoffs. But playoff positioning, might matter. I'm not really sure, but so there is my draft. I did not change anything as usual. I kind of like it. We're just going to stick with it. And so go figure. Rewt did not create a roster image for himself. I don't know why, but he did not. And we're just going to go ahead and do this again. So there is his draft. And as you can see, we're going to be dealing with Cinderace again, this time the Mega variant. And Cinderace is a unique problem with my top Pokemon being Mimikyu. It's actually leading my team in kills. It's been a really, really great Pokemon, and I was thinking before this match, I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead and sit Mimikyu, because Mimikyu actually, while it has an okay matchup against certain Pokemon on his team, especially that Necrozma, against other Pokemon, like he has those two normal types, that obviously, is going to be a hard time for it to get around. And then, of course, Cinderace just does, can just kill it, and Mimikyu can't even really do much after an SD, so Mega Cinderace is a really, really big problem. And of course, he has the Infernape, which is a Pokemon that I need to draft one of these days. I don't know how many more drafts we're going to be having in this generation. Infernape's not in, the new games, but we'll see. We'll see if we stick to this generation or not. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing. Infernape is always one of those Pokemon that gives me a lot of trouble in draft leagues. And of course, he has the Zygarde too, with which can run so many sets, and Greninja. So he has this really interesting core of those first three Pokemon on that list. Necrozma he had last season. And that thing actually ended up walling me. He ended up walling me with a bulky Necrozma, so you always have to be careful with Necrozma, which is one of the reasons I'm kind of hesitant to not bring Mimikyu. But I wanted to bring Shaymin, and Shaymin is a Pokemon I have not brought all season. It's been sitting on my roster. I'm really high on Shaymin, but it's something that hasn't really gotten an opportunity yet. And I'm looking at this roster. Aside from the Infernape, Shaymin actually can do a lot of work, especially with a bulky variant. And the fact that Greninja cannot be, it can only be Torrent. It can't be, what's the word? It can't be Protean or anything, so I don't have to worry about that. Like a Stab Ice Beam coming from that thing. If I run it kind of bulky, it should be able to do a lot of work. It can outspeed a lot of his slower Pokemon and just threaten a whole lot. So I wanted to bring Shaymin this week. And aside from that, I'm just going to bring some normal stuff. I mean, obviously, I'm going to bring Incineroar to help against that Necrozma, and plus it's I'm actually bringing Assault Vest set, so hopefully it'll be, be able to take some hits from some of his bulkier Pokemon, especially, that Delmise and things of that nature. So I don't really want to go in too deep into these. Been trying to keep these brief, so let's go ahead and get into the match. The winner of this game should be ahead in the conference. Espessially probably is ahead of both of us, but that's okay. We're going to be playing for first or second place, who knows? So here's the start of the match, and he ends up leading with Vikavolt, which is actually really not great. I go ahead and lead with Shaymin, and this has me at a disadvantage right here. I do have the Hidden Power Fire, but it's not really going to do that much to this thing, and this thing is actually really problematic for my squad. I do have the Assault Vest Incineroar, but if he goes for a Bug Buzz, which he should, and there it is, it can still do a lot of damage because Vikavolt has a ton of special attack, and thankfully that's not Specs damage, so he's able to change up his move though, and he just goes for a Volt Switch, and right off the bat, my Assault Vest Incineroar is kind of crippled, going down to, about half HP as I just go for a knockoff, figuring that he'd probably switch after seeing that he's not Specs. I end up knocking off this Sand Slash as he's going to wisely set up Stealth Rocks. I kind of knew he would do this, but my team isn't actually that damaged by Stealth. I mean, not more so than like a normal team, except this Incineroar, who's already weakened. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. Let's go for the Flare Blitz, get as much damage on this thing as possible, and then basically just sack off Incineroar. So not a great start, although I did get this Sand Slash pretty crippled, and it's kind of important too, because that's his Rapid Spinner, I believe. So if I can get rid of this thing, I also can get my own rocks up, and don't have to worry about them getting interfered with. So I'm going to go ahead and just Mega Evolve my Mega Manectric, and yeah, I get the Intimidate, although I kind of figured he would just let me kill this Sandslash, and indeed he does, which is a good play for him, because it means he doesn't have to predict. He can just sack this thing and get a safe switch into whatever, and he ends up going out into Greninja, which is interesting, because obviously it's locked into being a water type. That means he's almost certainly Scarfed, and I was thinking about it for a long time, knowing that he's Scarfed. I know that if he is Scarfed, though, he can't really one-shot my Manectric, so I decided just to hit Volt Switch. Worst case scenario, he hits me with a powerful water move. As you can see, he tried to pivot himself, so this is actually advantage me, because he gets some minor damage there with U-turn, and then I get the switch advantage, and I'm just going to go to my Garchomp, and here I actually make a mistake. I went for the Earthquake, which does reveal that I'm Scarfed, probably to him, because Tauros has a higher base speed, and I really should lock myself into virtually anything else, because he has this Levitator, and that was just a dumb play by me. I don't remember if it was like a misclick or just me derping, I don't even know. But either way, the Vigavolt's going to come in, and yeah, that basically gives him a free chance to do whatever, and I have to take a lot of damage on something, and I decide just to go into my Manectric. He ends up Volt Switching right back into the Greninja, and this is where the Stealth Rocks really hurt me, because that Volt Switch actually does quite a bit, and yeah, I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to get Manectric back in, so he ends up just killing with an Ice Beam. That kind of sucks. I know that he's locked in Ice Beam, though, so I can go to my Keldeo. Now, my Keldeo is a really, really strong Pokemon. In fact, this is going to be my, because I'm not bringing Mimikyu, this is going to be my Z-Mover this week. I actually brought a Calm Mindset, but I know this Primarina walls it, and that's the one thing about the Keldeo, about bringing the Keldeo, is I know that this Primarina is going to be a huge problem, because I don't have a way to hit it really hard. Keldeo's moveset is actually extremely limited, but, you know, to balance out how good it is. So I'm going to go into my Shaymin, and that was an awesome double switch for me, predicting Primarina to come in on my Keldeo, so it gets me a free Seed Flare against this Vigavolt, which comes in, and yeah, I basically have to... I really can't afford to lose Shaymin, because I need Shaymin for that Primarina, and unfortunately he predicted me, read me like a book, went for the Hidden Power Ice on my Garchomp switch in, so that was a really great play by him, and yeah, now he gets a great prediction, and that sucks. So Keldeo is going to come in. I decide just to go for a hard cast Hydro Pump here. See how much it does this Primarina, which I know is going to come in, and it does about a quarter, so that's not great. I can't really afford to Calm Mind until I get this thing to at least half, because like even a Waterium Z Hydro Pump is not going to do a whole lot. So I'm just going to go to my Skarmory. I figured he's probably just going to Moonblast, and indeed he does. And yeah, Skarmory obviously is my Steel type, so it takes that pretty nicely. And I do want to get up my own Stealth Rocks. If I'm going, because in my mind, my best chance to win this is if I can get maybe a Calm Mind on the Keldeo, weaken up his team a little bit, and then maybe sweep. Because I view Keldeo here really as my win condition. Now, he does go into the Necrozma, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want this thing to set up a Cosmic or whatever, you know, because he set up his defenses last time. I don't want that either. I don't want to Tauntamize. Go away. Let's go ahead and go for the Whirlwind, which I actually brought for Mega Scizor, which interestingly, he didn't even bring Mega Scizor or Zygarde. I don't know if you guys noticed. I meant to mention this earlier, but pretty crazy. But yeah, I end up just roaring that thing out when it tried to set up, so that's a pretty good feeling. Although, of course, I get it. I roar it into like the one or Whirlwind it into the one Pokemon I didn't want to see, and that's this Vikavolt, who can pretty much just Volt Switch with impunity against me. And like I said, I cannot risk Shaymin. If he goes for the Bug Buzz, that would suck. So yeah, now I'm down to just Shaymin and this Greninja, and I don't think he can kill me with an Ice Beam. In fact, I kind of thought he would U-turn. In fact, I was so close to hitting Synthesis on this turn, which would have been amazing because it would have gotten me back to full. But unfortunately, I didn't. I just decided just to go for the Seed Flare, which is a really dumb play. If because I was thinking maybe he might go for the Ice Beam and maybe he could 2-hit KO even after the Synthesis in that range, but I should have known he would just pivot in and sack off Vikavolt, which is bad for me because this thing is definitely Scarfed, and I'm like, oh, I think that I just lost the game, but Shaymin with the clutch, 1 HP survive, And Shaymin doing work in its first ever appearance as a Dolphione, taking care of that there Primarina. And yeah, so in comes the Greninja. He has to lock himself into the extra sensory because it's his one, its best move against my last Pokemon, Keldeo. But I know I can take an extra sensory, and I know I can kill this thing with a fighting move. The only real question is how much bulk is he running on that Necrozma, because a Waterium Z might be able to take it out after a Stealth Rock, and it looked like it was autotomized, which means he probably has very little bulk on this thing, meaning I probably have a very, very good chance to one-hit KO, but we're about to find out right now if we can pull off the win, thanks to that Shaymin being clutch. And yeah, we're just gonna, it's the only play we have, we're just gonna go ahead and click that Waterium Z and go for the Hydro Vortex. This is actually the first time I've actually brought my Z move on Keldeo as well in this game, because normally I've just been using Mimikyu, and yeah, it ends up KOing, so we get the unlikely victory over Rewt. Feel kind of bad because we counted after the game. At that range, my Shaymin had like, I think it was like a 30% chance, something like that, chance to live, and I am getting the one-hit point survive, which I never get those, and my opponent always seems to, so I don't know. It feels pretty good. I mean, obviously, we're in the playoffs either way, and we're going to obviously face this guy again. Maybe this time he'll bring Zygarde and Mega Scizor. I really have no idea, because I was so afraid of them. I had no idea why he didn't bring them, but I guess he actually kind of, he got what he wanted against me. Not bringing the Mega Scizor. He called my bluff about not bringing Mimikyu, and bringing, some Pokemon that could really be a problematic, like that Primarina, which I kind of knew he would bring to stop Keldeo, but still. I actually had like Hidden Power Poison on that Keldeo for the longest time with like a Fightinium Z, and then I right before the match I switched to Waterium, and then I got rid of Hidden Power Poison for something else. For Hydro Pump, because I think I didn't have a water move on it originally. But anyway, so Sword and Shield are officially out, so I can probably now talk about it without YouTube throwing a fit, and let's go ahead and go into this question of the day with the final form of the starters revealed. So which one are you liking? So starting from the one on the left, that is the final form of Scorbunny. That is Cinderace. This Pokemon's really interesting, especially when it gets its hidden ability. Its hidden ability is a carbon copy of Protean. So, first of all, and let me reverse. All of these Pokemon are single types. They're fire, water, grass. So that's the first time I think since Gen 2 that's happened. Pretty interesting, but not necessarily, because with Protean, Cinderace is going to be a really scary threat. In fact, I'm still on Team Scorbunny. This thing is its base stats are pretty awesome too. It has a great speed tier. I really do like this thing. So on the middle we have Inteleonn. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but Sobble is going to turn into that thing. It's extremely thin looking. It looks kind of weird to me. And he ends up getting boned with his hidden ability. Like, obviously the hidden abilities aren't out yet, I don't think, but his hidden ability is just Sniper, which is an okay ability, but not on the same tier as Protean. And then Rillaboom over there. I do like the design of this. Grookey is probably going to be my number 2. I'm hoping you guys pick it for the Nuzlocke later tonight, because I will be letting you guys choose my starter for that. But no, so Grookey is going to turn into this thing, and this thing's hidden ability is actually Grassy Surge. So, it's basically the Tapu Bulu of this generation, which is going to make it really awesome, and it's actually faster than it looks. It's like base speed 90-something. I have to pull them up, but, so just from a design perspective, or what you know about them, which one do you like now that we know the final forms of the starters? Leave a comment about that, and I will see you guys again next time. And one of the reasons I'm posting this battle today, as opposed to tomorrow, is because I just want to let you guys know I am streaming Sword and Shield on my Twitch tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Gonna be starting a Nuzlocke, which might have some complications from what I understand, but we're gonna put in a few hacks to fix those issues. It should be pretty interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be playing my own copy of the game. At least tonight, you'll be able to see my reaction to the game live, because I haven't touched the games yet. Later in the Nuzlocke, I'm probably, it's going to be outpaced by my actual normal playthrough of the game. I will be touching these games for the first time tonight. So if you want to stop by, that's cool. My Twitch, first time in a long time, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. So link is in the description. So hope to see you guys there. And we are 6-1 here in the PGBL. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Later. Oh yeah, we have one more match I wanted to mention, and that's against the Orlando something. Orlando Solgaleo, I think that's it. And that is Sweet Banana Gaming, so we'll be getting to that next week. Alright, see you guys next time. Later.